Wilson here again today for another video. I'm going to show you today how to use your weaving dies for a background and not for actually using them for weaving. They make a beautiful background, especially when used with the noble dies. The dies we'll be using today include the striped weaving die, the Rhodes die from the Greek Island collection, as well as the Kefalonia die. And the sentiment comes from the Delightful Sentiment set. The frame will be made using the noble die, the classic Adorned rectangle. Okay, so I think we'll start there with the actual frame. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and laid this into place with the two cutting dies and then the debossed centerpiece in the middle. I personally find it's easier to emboss first and then cut your frames later. That way you don't have to worry about it popping out of the die when you go to emboss. So I've set this up, I've just laid this into place the way I want it, a little bit of tape, and I'm going to just run it through the grand caliper. Now every once in a while you might find as you're rolling this along, especially with the deboss feature, it runs along the length of this. So when you take it out, if you find the two ends are a little less embossed, turn it and run it through again. Now what I'm going to do now is just remove this inside piece, carefully untape this, okay, and leave my two cutting edges in place. And then we will change this out. Let me take this off of my cutting mat, or my embossing mat. There we go. A little sticky there. And move it over to my cutting plate. Just make sure they're seated right there. And we'll run that through, cut that frame. You're just going to hear the dies going into that, especially when it's just a very simple shape. You'll hear them going into the cutting plate. Okay. So now what we have, we put these back into place. It's a beautiful debossed frame for our card. Isn't that gorgeous? Just love the way that looks. That detail's so pretty. Very, very simple to do too. And we will undo this and put it back onto our set, and you can use that for later. Okay. Now I've gone ahead and put a little bit of mounting foam on another one of these, so we'll use this one. So we're going to work next to our weaving die. Now this is your striped weaving die, and what I'm going to do is I've taken a piece of white card and I've covered it with a self-adhesive sticky sheet. Simple as can be. And I'm going to pop this on top of it. Just try and center that on there. Okay, and I'm going to use this waxy side to make sure that it's good and stuck down. Pull in a piece of copy paper to put underneath me. And remember, all that is exposed adhesive there, so we're going to use some ice snow on that. Really give it a pretty blingy background. Just going to move it all around so it touches all of that exposed area. Tap off the extra bit onto my piece of copy paper. And you can even burnish that down and take off a bit more so you don't waste any of it. There we go. How pretty is that? Just love the way that looks. So let me just tidy this up and get it out of our way. Okay. Set that back there. Okay. So now I'll use this as the base behind my frame. So let me go ahead and peel the backing off of the mounting foam. And I want to use a little bit of glue on this just to make sure it sticks really well, because that ice snow is a glitter, so it's going to not want to stick to the foam and stay stuck. The glue will help that. And we'll pop this into place over it. Let me just lean in a little bit to get it straight. Perfect. And take your scissors and nip away the extra bit. Little corner there. It's a little long on this side. And catch the corners here and here. How pretty is that? Now we've got a beautiful base for our card. I've gone ahead and done a little bit of piercing. around the edges there, and I've matted and layered it, so we will just add this with some glue to the back. And there again, the rectangles have this really pretty clipped corner feature on it, so it's perfect for pearls. So I've gone ahead and put those into place, just like that. Now we're going to go and work on a sentiment. I've stamped the thanks from our clear sentiment set, and I'm going to use the inside of the Rhodes die for this. So let's set this up with a little bit of tape, and I've got, oh, I don't need that one, apologize. Just need this one right here. Put this into place, and we're going to cut this. It's got a beautiful detail that'll show up so nicely. And, oh, where did my little, there he is. Do a little bit of rolling with my two-in-one. Let's get this tape out of the way. Take off the little bits. This will take out your larger pieces, and you will need to poke out the last of the smaller ones. That looks pretty good though. We've got that all nice and neat. And what I've done is I've already done a silver piece to back that with. There's some glue. I'll put a little bit on the ends here too. So we're going to have the silver showing through that. Put that right in the center there. Get that all nice and adhered. And I went ahead and cut a frame using the centers of the Kefalonia die and added a little bit of mounting foam to the back in preparation. So let me peel the backing off of that. It's got a really nice pierced layer on this that just really frames it and just shows it off nicely. Pop that around the edge of that. Let me get that nice and straight on there. There we go. So it's kind of recessed down into that frame. Isn't that pretty? And then we will just seat this with some glue on the back of it. Remember, you've got that glitter underneath there, so you're going to want to use some glue. Pop that into the center of our frame and finish our card off nicely. Just give that a second so it'll stay. There we go. So pretty. So you can see how that weaving die can be used in other ways rather than just as a weaving, so it becomes way more versatile for you. And that does give you a really quick background, especially with that beautiful frame. I think this card's a winner. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and you can look for us on the YouTube channel under Creative Expressions. There's so many to choose from now, plus my daily blog, partycraft.blogspot.com.